Seasons, yes. Seasons also change and it's a natural change. Melting of solid into liquid. Is it a natural change? It could be a natural change, but not always, okay? Melting of solid to liquid is not always natural. Rain, yes, that is a natural change. So melting of solid into liquid is natural when if I take some ice and I put it in the sun, then that ice will melt. Okay, so that is a natural change. But if I take the ice and I put it on the, if I put it on top of fire, then that will also melt, but that is a man-made change. Like I have made that change to happen because I gave it the heat. Okay. So if there is ice outside and the sunlight falls on it and melts the ice into water, then that is a natural change. Okay. Climate. Yes, Anjali, that's right. Life and death. Yes, that is a natural change. All right. So I guess you guys understood. Let us proceed. So the next one is the number 3rd, chemical reaction. Okay. So if you see, this is a chemical reaction and okay, it looks like it is fun, but don't try all this at home. Don't try mixing various chemicals unless you absolutely know what you are doing and you have your parents or a teacher or somebody around you to supervise you. Don't do it. Don't mix random things. It can be dangerous. Okay. So yeah, chemical reactions, they are a man-made change. When I light a candle and it melts, that is also a man-made change. Can you guys give me an example of other man-made changes? Iron ore to iron. Yes, that is a man-made change. Very good. Cooking is a man-made change. Yes. What else? I want a shape. Not necessary. For example, if I take this piece of paper and I crumple it. Yes, this is a man-made change because I changed it, right? But change in shape can happen in nature also. For example, when the wind is blowing, the trees, they bend, right? So that shape is changing. So that is not a man-made change in shape, but that's a natural change in shape. Okay. Headphones. Man-made, yes. Headphones, correct. That can be a man-made change, yes. Water balloon is a man-made change, yes. Thread to clothes, very good. Yes, that is a man-made change.
Ma'am, is pollution a man-made change?
Pollution is a man-made change, yes. Pump. Yes, a pump is also a man-made change. Wood into furniture. Yes. Okay, so all of you, looks like you all have understood what a man-made change is. All right. So if you guys have more examples, keep typing, no issues. Okay, but I'm going to proceed. All right. What is a slow change and a fast change? So for example, the growth of a plant, okay, that is a slow change. When I have a water balloon, or if I have a balloon and I take a toothpick and I prick it, that is a fast change because instantaneously, very, very quickly, the balloon bursts. Okay. And the growth of a plant is slow. The bursting of a balloon is very, very fast. So that is an example of a slow change and a fast change. Okay, so can you guys give me an example of a slow change? Change in height, very good. Cooking, yes. Growing plant, very good. Germination, very good. Growth of hair, yes. Process of water cycle. All right, very good. All of you have understood what slow change is. Now, can you all give me examples of fast change? Melting is not a fast change. It is a slow change, okay? Fire is a fast change. Yes, fire is a fast change. Lighting a candle, yes. Pushing a material. Pushing a material. I would say Yeah, okay. We can say that crumbling of paper. Yes, I can say that's a fast change. Yes. Splashing water. Yes, that is a fast change. Okay, so looks like all of you have understood what fast change is. If you want, you can give me more examples, but I am going to proceed. If you like, you can type examples, not an issue. Okay. Paper into ash. No, that is a slow change. Okay, it takes some time for paper to turn into ash. Crushing, I would say, okay, we can call it a slow or a fast change depending on what is the force applied and things like that. Okay. All right. Now let's look at activity 1. Here it says take a balloon and blow it. The shape and size of the balloon have changed. After you blow a balloon, after you blow air into a balloon, the balloon has changed its shape and the size. Okay. Now let the air escape from the balloon. Is it possible to get the balloon back to its original shape and size? What is your answer?
If we tie it, we can't take it to original shape.
So first I blow the balloon with air and I make it big, okay? And then I release the air. Has the balloon come back to its original shape and size?
It change back into its shape if you don't tie it. And
Yes.
release the air directly.
Correct. So you release the air directly and it will come back to its original shape. Very good. Yes, you can fill air in it again. Okay, so it has come back to its original shape and size once I remove all the air. Okay, now let's take a look at activity 2. Okay, so what is activity 2 saying? It's saying take a piece of paper and fold it to make an aeroplane. Now you have changed the sheet of paper into a toy. Okay, now unfold the paper again. Was the size of the paper same as before after making an aeroplane? Was the size once I open up the aeroplane into its paper into the paper, is the size the same? Yes, so the size is the same. Once I open up the paper, once I open up the aeroplane and I get the same size of the paper. Why? Because I have not cut the paper in any way. Okay, I've only folded the paper and now I'm unfolding the paper. So because of folding and unfolding, nothing has changed. The size of the paper remains the same. Okay. So now let's look at activity 3. Okay. Take some dough. Dough is like, the atta which you use to make roti. So if I take some dough and I make a ball and then roll it, and if I roll it out into a roti, but I'm not happy with the shape and I want to change the shape. So what do? I take that dough again and I roll it back into a ball. Okay, is it possible for me to make it into a ball again? Yes, very good. So I can roti, as long as I have not cooked the roti, and if I have a dough, it is not cooked, then I can make it back into a ball again. Okay, not a problem. All right. So what is this? What is common in all of this? That if I start with the shape and size of something original and I change it, and I am able to bring back the original shape or size, then that is called a
reversible changes.
very good. So that is called a reversible change. So there are a few types of reversible changes. Let's take a look. So it's melting. Melting is a reversible. All right. So when chocolate is warmed until it melts, the melted chocolate can be changed back into solid by cooling. So you can do this. So you can take some chocolate, put it in some bowl and put it in your microwave, and you'll see that the chocolate will melt. And once you take it out of the microwave, you will see that the chocolate has melted, and you take that molten chocolate and you put it back in the freezer. Then that chocolate becomes solid again. Okay. So melting is a reversible process. So by heating, you can melt something, and again, when you cool it down, it will become solid again. Freezing. Freezing also is a reversible change. For example, when orange juice is frozen to make, those what do you call them?
Ice cream.
Not ice cream, but it's more like
Kulfi.
Popsicle. Popsicle, yeah, popsicle. So when I take orange juice and I freeze it, it becomes a popsicle. And then when I take that popsicle out and I keep it outside, it will melt and it will become orange juice again. Okay, so that the process of freezing is also a reversible change. All right, what about dissolving? So when salt is mixed with water, it completely dissolves in the water. It disappears in the water. But salt can be recovered from water by, how do you do that? By boiling the water. So what do? I take the salt water, I put it on a stove and I keep evaporating the water. Okay, so I convert all the water into steam and whatever is left over is salt. Okay, so by evaporating that water, I can get the salt back. Okay, so boiling, evaporation, condensation, they're all examples of reversible changes. So if I take some water and I put it in a kettle and and I put it on the stove, okay, and I give it some heat, then what happens? All this water evaporates into steam. Okay, then if I put a plate, if you guys have ever made rice, then you can tell that once, when the rice is cooking, you will see that if you put a lid on top of that rice, you will see water droplets forming on top of that lid, right? So that happens. What is it?
Condensation, ma'am.
Yes, condensation. So evaporation you can get, and again you can get water by condensation. Okay, so boiling.
I have done this experiment with sugar water.
Yes, you can do that with sugar water also. Very good. So boiling, evaporating, condensing, they are all examples of reversible changes. Okay.
Ma'am, even when we take an boiling kettle, ma'am, and the tea is there and the steams come out. So when we hold a metal plate, which is on top of the metal plate, there is the ice kept on it. The water droplets form on it.
Correct. Yes. So what are you doing there? You are condensing, right? You're condensing the steam into water. So the first activity is take a balloon and blow it into full size. Tie its mouth with a string tightly. Prick it with a pointed tip of your pencil. Can we get the balloon back? Okay, so a lot of you are saying no. In fact, all of you are saying no. Yes, that is the correct answer. We cannot get the balloon back. Okay, so let's look at activity number 2. It says take a piece of paper, draw a rat on it. Okay, so you draw a rat on it and then you take a pair of scissors and you cut along the outline of that. Okay, now can you get back the original piece of paper? No, we cannot get the original. Very good. So yeah, the shape will change. Correct. All right. So let's look at activity 3. So here it says roll out a roti from a ball of dough and bake it on the tawa. Can we get the dough again? Yes, because it is cooked, so you can't get it back again. All right, very good.